Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade. Yeah,
We're here. Let's go.
This is Geekshow Arcade, where I talk about video games and video game related things. Let's kick it off by introducing our panelists. It's Jaren.
For God.
Oh no!
I'm Jaren.
Professional
Find me on
right here.
Twitter.
Why do I let you on this show?
Jaren, you did this
Can we
on
vote him off
purpose.
the island right now?
You did this to me.
You put the biggest piece of chocolate I think I've ever seen an adult put in their mouth before we started.
I just want to tell you.
We hadn't started yet.
I want to tell you the urgency Tony had to get started just now. He was giddy with trying to get through everything so he could catch Jaren with his mouthful of chocolate.
Seriously though, that was like 6-year-old level chocolate shove right there. You're just like, oh, can I get this all in my mouth?
No regrets.
No, not
No
even.
Fair.
regrets?
You know, he stands by it.
Not in one letter.
No, that was awful. That was bad podcasting, guys. I
No.
did not enjoy it at all.
I mean,
It's
maybe
Lando. He doesn't enjoy things. Hey, Lando.
I love podcasting. I enjoy you guys, except for Jaren. No,
Boom,
even
got him.
sometimes I enjoy Jaren.
Noted.
Wow.
When we talk about Crate and Barrel, right?
Oh yeah,
Boom.
that makes you happy. You should see my new couch. It's not from Crate and Barrel, but it's
I
Crate and
would
Barrel adjacent.
love to see it.
You'd like it a lot. It's a good couch.
Hey, Owen.
Hey, follow me on Twitter @TechKnown. We can begin now.
Feel better?
Yep, I do.
And we have a host.
We have a host.
We have a
Are you waiting
host.
for me? Are you waiting for me to do it? Because Lando picked it up. You're just supposed to. His name's Tony.
There we go. You got to
We have to say his name's
name.
Tony. We can't just say we have
Yeah.
a host.
No, you got to say the name. So-and-so, and it's them.
Her name is Tony.
Check me
Should've
out
waited
on
to see how long
Twitter.
the pause could be.
@Quad T Tony. We got Lando over here ruining the podcast with his low
I'm
quality,
Sorry.
low quality everything. Doesn't even want to participate in the talk about GPUs, which, oh baby, we get to talk about GPUs because CES 2024 is going on.
But they're not as good. You
They're-
just said that in the in-between. You said they're not as good.
They're still great because they lowered the price.
They're in the news, and anytime a GPU is in the news, Tony's excited.
You know that is the truth right there. And so is Jaren. Right, Jaren?
Uh-huh. That's right.
Oh, your screen froze. It looked really weird.
What?
No, he
No,
was
it's
just.
back. It's back.
He was. Yeah, he was just swallowing chocolate again.
All right.
No, no more of that.
CES 2024 is going on this week, so we are going to bypass emails this week and perhaps next, depending on how much news we need to get to. But there's quite a bit today, so let's get started. Lando will get GPUs out of the way first so
Yes,
that you
let's
can
go.
stay awake. If we do it later, you might fall asleep. We had a GPU announcement from both Nvidia and AMD, actually. AMD's was pretty boring, but Nvidia's was interesting.
Like a new GPU?
Yeah, new GPUs.
Not new generation. They're like mid-generation refreshes.
Isn't it weird to get this kind of information at CES from Nvidia? that
No,
abnormal?
refreshes are fairly normal.
At CES.
Mid-gen stuff is fairly normal at CES, but they'll do their own thing
okay.
when it's a new gen.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
Continue on.
NVIDIA announced the super variants of the 40 series cards. So there's the 4080 Super, 4070 Ti Super, and 4070 Super.
Ooh, sounds super.
The 4080 Super, it's not really much of a bump over the 4080, but the interesting part with that is they're actually lowering the price.
$200.
$1,200 down to $1,000, which is probably what it should have been priced as originally.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So it's better for less money?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's better for
Yeah.
less money. It feels like a makeup call in a basketball game when they miss a call on one side of the court, and so they do a bad call on the other side to make up for it. You know,
I
or
should have done that in
whatever.
an NFL game the other day.
So,
Yeah.
I can't watch NFL anymore.
but
So
either way, I'm happy to hear it because
Yeah,
it puts competition out there.
Because actually, the 4090 wasn't priced poorly compared to the previous generation.
No,
The 4080 was. So this
Mm-hmm.
brings it back down to, I wouldn't say normal levels, but better levels.
more normal.
Yeah. The 4070 Super will cost $600, whereas the 4070 Ti Super, actually, it doesn't list on the price here.
I don't think their prices changed, did they?
Yeah, I don't think
Because
so.
you had a regular 4070 and you had a regular 4070 Ti, and I think their prices stayed the same, but now they have Super at the end, and the 4070 Super is actually a pretty good spec bump over the regular 4070. Did you not look at that?
What is Super at? Is it just a better binning? Is that the same thing?
For the 4080, yes, it's a better binning, but for the 4070 and the 4070 Ti, it's different.
I think it's
right?
just better binning because they're
same
able
RAM,
to unlock
same RAM and
they're
and
able
all, of course.
They're able to unlock more cores
Right.
on it. Where's the article? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's not the best article, honestly.
Oh, you went with Nvidia's or Engadget's article.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But-
but yeah, the 4070 is 20% more performant than the 4070 Super is 20% more performant than the 4070
For less money?
for the same amount of money.
Same amount of money.
The 4080 is like
It's like 5%.
5 to 7% more
Yeah.
performant, but it is $200 cheaper. That's a significant price drop.
So,
and the
so this
4070
applies
Ti,
to people that held on. This applies to people that waited.
yeah,
Is this-
basically.
you know.
The other nice thing about the 4070 Ti, aside from it being a little more performant, is they bumped it from 12 gigs to 16 gigs of VRAM. So that's a big plus as well.
That's more
That
ERAM.
is. 12 gigs isn't that great nowadays. 16 gigs, that'll be good for a while.
Yes. Well, even 12 gigs is actually on 1440p and below. 12 gigs is plenty.
Yeah, you're right.
You want to move up to 4K, then 16 is more the sweet spot for sure.
Yep.
So exciting stuff. Good to see Nvidia kind of coming back down from their ridiculous pricing a little bit, which is
We have
it's good
all
to see.
these extra cards. We got to get rid of them. You know, put the word super on them.
That got the most attention, but I think another announcement from Nvidia is the most interesting thing that came out of CES. It's called G-Sync Pulsar.
so far.
so far.
Pulsar
Yeah.
so far.
I think you're right, kind of right.
Don't tell him he's right.
The problem with your statement is this applies to pretty niche, like Pulsar is only going to be understood by a very small percentage of PC gamers.
Right.
You know what
but
I mean?
but
Like-
for the initiated, this is the most exciting news.
It is awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Explain it to the uninitiated.
So, all right. So CRT monitors, the big old tube ones, they were actually pretty good display tech. The only problem was they were big and heavy.
Just
right?
too big, yeah.
When LCD came out in mid 2000s or early 2000s, we really took a huge step back in monitor technology. There was the motion clarity wasn't nearly as good. The colors weren't as good. The refresh rate wasn't as good. And it's taken us a good 20 years to claw back the gains that we used to have with CRTs back in the day.
Yep.
So with LCDs still aren't great. There's a lot of technologies they try to do to make LCDs good. Higher, making the refresh rates higher. That's one thing. Making the colors better over time. That's another. Putting in full array local dimming. That makes the black levels better. The big jump in display technology really has been OLED because it's individually addressable pixels that can go completely black.
Their response time is way faster than LCD.
Indeed.
LCD turning on and off.
Still not quite as good as CRTs because CRTs were instant response time.
Yeah.
But OLEDs, it's pretty dang as close as you can get. So with G-Sync, the technology came out, I don't know, about a decade ago.
Yeah,
it's
around there.
Variable refresh rate. Your video card, it will put out frames as quickly as it can. But your TV, the TV technology in the past, it only displayed 60 frames per second, no matter what. But your GPU isn't necessarily putting out frames 60 times per second. It could be a little bit lower than that. It could be higher than that. And when those things get out of sync, there's tearing or there is stuttering on your display. What G-Sync does is it matches the rate at which it puts out the frames to the panel. So the GPU is now talking to the panel, and it's putting out frames as fast as the panel can actually display them. So it eliminates tearing. It makes things smoother, and it also can increase response time. So that solves part of the problem. Another part of the problem that we've never gotten back from CRTs is motion clarity. And this is something that you can see on Blurbusters. If you go to blurbusters.com, there's like this little alien that goes across the screen. Motion clarity in LCD tech and even OLED tech, it'll make it so things blur when they shouldn't be blurring.
After image or even before, it'll overshoot sometimes, and you'll see the front edge of something before it's supposed to be there.
Right. So, like, if a golf ball is going across the screen, it'll make the golf ball look really blurry when on CRTs it would have looked sharp, even though it was moving quickly. So what G-Sync Pulsar is, it's the variable refresh rate, which has existed for over a decade now, along with improving motion clarity. What it will do is insert a black frame between every single frame that gets delivered to the monitor. And this is called black frame insertion. Now, black frame insertion has existed, but not with variable refresh rate at the same time.
Yep.
So what this will do is it will solve the motion clarity problem as well as the VRR problem at the same time. This has never been done before. So basically, monitor technology is finally catching up to CRTs clear back in the day. And it's super cool. I'm excited to try it. It's not out on any monitors yet, but it should be pretty soon. And
it will support up to 240 hertz.
Is this an
Or
this
we'll
an
go higher
Nvidia
than
tech?
that.
This
This
is
is-
Nvidia tech only, right? So
yeah,
this is
Nvidia
like a
tech
big
only. So
push
you have to get a
with their
G-Sync.
card.
You have to get a G-Sync Pulsar monitor to support this.
Oh, okay.
And so this is, for me, a big enough leap that my next monitor, I finally have a reason to upgrade. It will be a G-Sync Pulsar monitor.
Yeah,
But you don't have to have an Nvidia card to make this
absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
do.
Okay.
You do.
It is one of their kind of closed garden situations where you have to have an Nvidia card and you have to have an Nvidia certified monitor for
That's
it.
a
and
huge.
everything.
That's a huge deal then for Nvidia. Then I don't because if AMD can go with FreeSync, right?
Yeah,
They use
FreeSync. FreeSync works. I would say almost just as good as G-Sync does as far as your variable refresh rate and your frame pacing and stuff like that goes. But this is the next step.
Yeah.
And maybe a few years from now, we might see that become
Have an answer in FreeSync world.
Yeah, I might have some sort of answer to it from AMD. But
Yeah, because I mean their DLSS is almost exactly the same now. So
no.
and their ray tracing is just as good. So
Well, the ray tracing is fine. It just runs slower. But their FSR is definitely not as good as DLSS.
So I think this G-Sync Pulsar will be big for esports as well as graphics nerds like me and Tony.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing that's going to be awesome about this is it'll make it so that anything you see on your screen, if it's blurry, it's because it was intended to look that way.
right.
With either the artist's intent, the developer's intent, or a motion blur setting on the game itself. So anything that's blurry will be because it's supposed to be, not because it's just got added, low quality screen kind of a thing. So
Yep. It'll make everything sharp in motion. It'll be great. Hope this
Very-
wasn't too boring for you, Lando.
What? What are we talking about?
Yeah, okay. That answers the question.
quit
I got
playing on
into-
your
I got
phone.
in- yeah, I
Quit
got
playing
into
on
it.
your phone, Jaren. I mean Lando, and pay attention, you jerk. All right.
The G-Sync screen, it's better. If you have Nvidia cards,
Pulsar.
it's better.
Pulsar.
Darren's going to buy it, so if I were going to buy it, that's the one I'd buy.
Yep, that's how I base all of my tech decisions.
Well, when it comes to GPUs and screens, yeah.
Would Tony buy this? Has Tony
mean,
bought this?
That's a good thing to ask yourself. Yeah, yeah I support
What would
that.
Tony buy?
And then I go, would,
WWTB,
and then I
WWTB.
ask, would Jaren buy this? Because
WWJB.
T.
T. All right. Well, speaking of phones and gaming on phones, Asus rolled out the new ROG Phone 8, which at first glance, who cares? Unless you're into the mobile gaming scene, this doesn't matter. And well, I mean, to be fair, it also still doesn't matter. It also still doesn't matter if you're not in the mobile gaming scene. But what it is cool and what it does differently this time is they're finally attempting to put in a good quality camera on this gaming phone, because that used to be how it was. If you wanted a quote gaming phone, you had to choose between, do I want a gaming phone with the higher refresh rate screen and higher touch sensitivity refresh rate, et cetera, and a garbage camera, or do I want a smartphone with a good camera that doesn't have all the cool gaming phone stuff? But
where am I putting my power?
Exactly. But this looks like it might actually have a shot at covering both fronts here. It's gonna be, I'm sure it'll be a good gaming phone just because of the pedigree of the ROG Asus ROG phones in the past have been very good for that. But finally, they're throwing a 50 megapixel f1.9 main camera sensor.
Ooh.
With a more efficient Sony IMX890 sensor, the same one that's on OnePlus 11's main camera, a 3x periscope camera that is similar to the one on Oppo Find X Pro.
Is that the little one that pops out like on the old
No.
OnePlus?
It has inside. It has some stuff that moves up and down to do the zooming for you.
Okay.
And it will also have 6-axis hybrid gimbal stabilization that should offer a super hyper steady. They're calling it super hyper steady video mode.
Ooh.
How does this help? How does this help with gaming though?
No, it doesn't. So it still does all the gaming stuff, but you'll also be able to finally take good pictures if you chose a gaming phone instead of just the trash pictures. So it's got all that going on its main camera, and then it's also got a 13 megapixel ultra wide. Megapixel ultra wide, f-stop, f-2.2 ultra wide, and it's got a third camera that's a 32 megapixel 3x telephoto shooter. So, and that one has optical image stabilization as well, and pixel binning. So it'll bin it down to an 8 megapixel output. So yeah, it looks like it might be pretty cool. And cost wise, the phone will start at. Oh, I guess we should talk about the gaming specs on it too. It's got RGB. You got to have the RGB. Let's see. It's got some white LEDs on the back that give it some cool
RAM and storage options are pretty
stuff
standard.
like that. Yeah, RAM and storage. You're getting your Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the latest Qualcomm chip, and some advanced cooling, which the gaming phones always do. They have some higher quality cooling. They say that this cooling boost will boost thermal efficiency by up to 20%. Yeah, we'll see. Mm-hmm. But you're looking at a sweet Samsung AMOLED display, 2448 by 1080 resolution, 165 hertz, and a 720 hertz touch sampling rate with a 2500 nit peak brightness. So very bright. 5,500 milliamp hour battery, which is a little bit smaller than last year's. So that's kind of a bummer. Last year's was 6,000, but it still supports 65 watt hypercharge, which will juice it up in 39 minutes.
I love that so much.
That is crazy. I just cannot believe that's good for the battery, but apparently it's fine. And let's see, base model, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage for $1,000. So
$1,000? It's like
it's actually competitively priced. Yeah.
Right.
If you want to bump that up to 16 RAM, 512 of storage, it's $1,200. And the Super Duper Premium Pro Edition, 24 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage for.
Think of all the gaming you could do.
$1,500 for that, which still, when you compare it to like a fully loaded, or even not even the fully loaded, but like a medium loaded Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max, you're in the same ballpark.
Right? Yeah, you're still
and you're getting more RAM and more storage. So something to consider. But yeah, it looks kind of cool. I thought if I was going to go back to Android, I'd consider that phone for sure. Mobile gaming continues with the MSI Claw. You excited about this, Jaron?
It's interesting, but I'm not very excited about it because it has an Intel chip, and I don't trust that Intel can put out the performance needed in a small handheld device.
Yeah, so In my opinion, the fact that it has an Intel chip is its most interesting and most scary aspect of it.
Definitely.
Kind of the devil, you know, right? Because it's Intel.
Exactly.
And you're like,
Well,
I know how to tweak this. I know how to troubleshoot.
The devil you know would be AMD, because they've been companies
right.
have been doing AMD APUs in handheld PCs for years now, and they've been great. But this guy uses the new Intel Core Ultra 7 or Ultra 5 processor, and we'll just talk about the loaded one, the Ultra 7. 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores, so you're getting quite a bit of CPU on there, as well as 2 low power E cores. So you're looking at a total of 16 cores on there.
You don't need that many cores for gaming. In my opinion, that's just sucking excess battery.
Well, yeah,
These are just Intel NUCs that have been repurposed.
kind of actually.
They're like, let's put a screen on that.
So MSI, if you go look at the thing, MSI has designed it very, very, very similar to the ROG Ally. It looks a lot like the ROG Ally, just with bigger hand grips, which I think is a wise choice. The ROG Ally just is too small for me. I had to buy a grip case for it. 53 watt hour battery, which is 25% larger than the ROG Ally, so that's neat.
Boy,
But
that's neat.
the Intel chip uses more energy, uses more juice. So we'll see if it actually balances out. They say it'll balance out to longer playtime. We'll see, though. But it is finally another handheld system that has a 120 hertz screen with variable refresh rate.
Yeah, that part is cool. And there's been some preliminary benchmarks on it. The Intel chip at 30 watts seems to be equal with the AMD chip at 25 watts.
Yeah, and this will supposedly go all the way up to 45 watts.
Which would completely drain your battery.
Yeah. So that's the trade-off. You know, you get more power, but you also use more power. So looks pretty interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm definitely not planning on buying one. I don't think Jaren is, but we're gonna keep an eye on the reviews.
Satisfied with your ROG Allies?
Yeah, with the Ally
and the Steam Deck.
So
I also worry about the Intel drivers.
that's a big unknown, because Intel is new to this. So this architecture that the iGPU uses on these is the same architecture that's on their dedicated graphics cards that they've been selling for the last 18 months or 2 years. And driver support on those drivers are coming in fast and hot. And it is never a guarantee that it doesn't break something or make something worse, or just not support a game as well as other graphics cards because of the drivers. So there's teething issues, is what I'm saying.
Linus would just say it's like a fine wine. It gets better as it ages, right? Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, you want tech that's better 3 years after you bought it, not when you bought it. So
Yeah.
Did they say a price? Did you guys already say that?
yeah, the price is going to be I want to say $799 for the fully loaded one, and they have a couple options underneath that get cheaper. So it's priced a little bit higher than the Ally. Or is the Ally $799 for the Z1 Extreme?
$699.
$699, yeah. So there you go. It might be interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. Moving along with good old PC-related gaming news, there's some cool monitors coming out this year.
There's been a lot of monitors that debuted at CES, and they're all OLED. Well, not all of them. The good ones are OLED.
Yep.
And some interesting ones. There's been a lot. I'll just highlight LG. But LG debuted a 480 hertz HD gaming monitor. The trick, though, is it can also switch to a 4K 240 hertz with a click. So it's
crazy.
a 4K monitor, 240 hertz, but you can change it to 1080p 480 hertz.
It sounds like they're just using the pixel binning tech, except on the screen instead of on a camera sensor.
Yeah, super cool. The only downside with all the OLED monitors coming out is there doesn't seem to be any announced at 42 inches.
I know, and that's what I want, a 42 or a 48. Come on.
Yeah. I would love a 42. I think I'd be okay with a 32, which is what this monitor is. But 42 would be my preference.
I'd totally go with the 42.
Yeah.
But not now. Not since G-Sync Pulsar is a thing. I'm waiting for that now.
Right.
I'll probably wait till next year when G-Sync Pulsar is more widely available and hopefully a bit cheaper.
Yeah, there'll be a premium on those for sure.
Yeah. But OLED monitors are finally becoming mainstream. There was only like 1 or 2 that came out in the last year. Well,
feel
maybe
like-
3 or 4. But
And I feel
now,
like
now they're
that's
everywhere.
really, and I feel like that's really consumer driven, right? Like they're just like,
for
that's
sure.
what people are buying,
Yeah, they're
And
seeing
so-
that.
you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, the LED ones still have their place, right? Like in like esports and stuff like that.
For
not-
office use, I think LCDs are fine.
Now that there's OLEDs, it'll do 480 hertz.
True.
There's
Yeah.
that used to be the land of LCD. Like 360 hertz and higher was only on the LCD ones. But now if you can get 480, just like you can on the LCD, then there's not really any good reason to not go OLED.
Right.
If you have the cash, go OLED for sure.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's talk laptops for a little bit. There was an OLED laptop shown off by HP that looked pretty rad.
Oh, this is me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still you.
we said laptops. I just assumed it was you for some reason.
Or that we're on a different podcast.
That's what I thought for a second.
Oh, I
That's
see.
it. That's it. These
So-
are gaming laptops.
This is a gaming laptop. Gaming HP Omen laptop. It's the Transcend 14. So
You hear that?
all
Gaming.
It's a console.
all the gaming laptops from last year with the 40 series graphics cards from Nvidia, they were all LCD, which was a disappointment. It's like, I don't want my next laptop to be LCD. I want OLED.
I think there was only 2 or 3 OLED options, and they were always on the ultra thin laptops that didn't have the big GPUs and things like
And
that.
they were like always 4K, and I don't
Yeah.
want a 4K screen
Come on.
on my laptop for gaming. It's just
1440p, 1600p, those are the sweet spots.
right. However, the OLED monitors, I think there's a trend here. OLED monitors at CES, they're starting to become a thing on laptops. The HP Omen Transcend 14. It is a very nice looking laptop. I would call this Apple fanboy approved as far as the looks go. Lando, that's for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't come with the heaviest hitter on the GPU side, so you're only going to get the 4070 on the top end. Supports the 14th gen Intel Core Ultra 7 or Ultra 9.
What you're telling me is they're doing it again. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. So if you're fine with the 4070, this seems like a very nice looking laptop. It's
It
thin,
does look nice.
shockingly thin for what it has inside. Very nice looking laptop, and Asus is also following up with that with their. It's been very well received Zephyrus line. They're
I think
updating.
They're ruining it.
They're adding OLED.
Yeah, but they're taking away on the G14. They're taking away user upgradable RAM.
Yeah.
RAM is soldered to the motherboard now.
Ugh,
Which should
And-
also appease the Apple fanboys.
You're right.
Yeah,
it's the
we
same
like
thing.
soldered RAM.
And the other thing that it's doing as well is they're taking away one of the M.2 slots. There used to be 2 on there, so you could have 2 SSDs. Now there's only 1 populated from
Lame.
the factory.
Right. I think that is worse than the soldered RAM, because soldered RAM you can at least plan for it,
I'd agree. Yeah, I'd agree.
but like you can't buy this with a 4 terabyte NVMe. Like you could easily upgrade for semi cheap nowadays, right?
Actually, no, I disagree because you could still upgrade the SSD.
Just
Just pull it out and put the new one in.
I guess just the one, but I want
I've
more
changed mine. I
storage.
flip flopped.
More, yeah, you did.
Flop flip.
The Zephyrus line looks very, very nice too, just like the HP Omen. I think the HP Omen is one-upped the Zephyrus in the looks department.
You think
but
so?
I think so. But the Zephyrus also has OLED panels, 3K 120 hertz screen on the G14, or a 2.5K 240 hertz screen on the G16, which is weird to me.
Yep.
Higher resolution on the smaller screen, lower resolution on the larger screen. I would definitely choose the lower resolution, 240 hertz.
Yep.
Overall, nice laptop. Again, has the same 40 series GPUs as the previous year, because there really isn't a new option this year.
Nope. The G16 offers up to a 4090 but it will be a lower wattage 4090 because they're very
Bummer.
thin. So, but still, I mean, I think the 4080 is the sweet spot for the high-end graphics in laptops
Yeah.
for this year and last. So, but yeah, no, they do, like, just looking at them, you're like, dang, that's a nice looking laptop. But
Yeah.
then when you compare it to last year and you see what they took away, I'm just like,
I wonder what the draw is for that. Is it easier manufacturing? Cheaper manufacturing.
cheaper, easier,
Yeah.
and you guarantee, well, you don't guarantee, but you're more likely to get them to buy a new one.
Yeah, right. Like,
Because
it
they
sets
can't
that
upgrade,
it sets
you
that
know?
refresh cycle, right? Like that's
Yep.
been like PC came out and said at the beginning they were like everything's modular.
Yeah.
You can upgrade, and they were like, man, we're good. Apple came along and said, nope, you can't do that, and you're going to buy a new one. And then now Apple has these super cycles of people like having to stay in the ecosphere by buying a new one every 3 or 4 years, and Intel or PC, which has
They're
always
like,
been
we want some of
they're
that.
like, hey, people thought that's a feature. Like, wait a second, we did the modular thing thinking that was a feature.
Yep.
The thing is, though, with RAM, you don't really upgrade RAM nowadays. You stick
you upgrade
with
it once.
You upgrade it once, and that's it. You're not going to upgrade your laptop again. No. So I do not like soldered RAM, but at least you can. You'll have to pay more, but
Right.
I was going to say that
you can get that 32 or 64.
Yeah.
but you're going to pay for it up front, extra. So,
which is annoying.
agreed. All right. Let's see. Owen, we got to talk about this Xbox toaster.
Yeah. So this story is a couple weeks old, but Microsoft,
This is from this week. This isn't a couple weeks old.
Well, then somebody put this in
it
my
might be
name.
it might be last week, actually.
Oh, it is. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
I put it there. You didn't even know this wasn't your story?
No.
This is an Owen
totally
story for
This
sure.
is totally on brand for me. I did the refrigerator.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
So-
this is Owen's story.
Yeah, it's totally on brand. So it looks like Jaron wants me to talk about it, so I'm going to do that. But you can
No.
get just
It's interesting. I thought you'd like it. I was
You know the refrigerator that
throwing you a
they.
bone.
I thank you. I really do. Well, this is a toaster you can buy at Walmart for $40, and it looks like the Xbox Series S. And
Looks like, does not play like.
No,
I mean, probably just as hot.
because you can't insert anything into the Xbox Series S, but you
That's
can
right.
insert
You
stuff
can
into
get-
this.
The cool thing
I
about
like
this is that
inserting
No disk drive.
the heating filaments for the inside burn the Xbox X into the bread,
To your toast.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
into your toast. Did you know? Have you guys? I'm not going to be able to get it in time to make it good podcasting. I'll have to put it on there later. But the guy that created the Xbox, one of the main lead architects, I'm going to butcher this because I'm paraphrasing. He was also somebody that won a very big award for his sourdough bread.
Oh.
And he was also after that, and he has a love affair with sourdough breadies. And if you look at the Xbox logo, it looks just like a piece of a roll
Seamus
of
Blackley.
Yeah, Seamus Blackley.
Seamus. Yeah, if you just type
Sounds
Xbox
like a Harry Potter
Creator,
character.
if you type Xbox Creator, the first thing is sourdough.
Yeah,
Xbox
and
Creator,
now
sourdough.
look at the Xbox logo.
Yeah.
It
It's the
looks
same
just
thing.
like
It's-
the guy made sourdough an iconic feature for Xbox.
I'm
That's
very
awesome.
I'm very confused because this picture is extremely photoshopped. I mean, look at that giant piece of toast.
Yeah.
But when you
toast!
when you
nope, none of that.
I don't know what he's doing.
toast!
What is he
Am
doing?
I the only one that got
Have you not
that?
seen this?
These
Oh
guys-
boy, are you in for a treat?
I don't know if it's
Anyway,
a treat or what, but
When you click in to Walmart, which they're selling it at Walmart, $40, not a bad price. There's another picture that has two pieces of toast in the toaster instead of the giant one. So I don't know what's going
a different
on here.
photoshopped. A different photoshopped. I might have to get this.
I think you should.
hey, it's got a removable crumb tray.
And it's $50, which is perfect for the 50-50.
Toast!
Lando, maybe you should get it. You can finally get an Xbox.
Oh,
Hey, this is true.
Sick burn.
We just got a new
toaster
toaster.
joke.
We just
I
got
think
a
we
new
have time
toaster,
for
so I don't
this.
know. I don't know.
Tony, you need to play this.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
We won't.
Thrifty 50.
It will get flagged.
Oh, it will get flagged. You're right, but it's so good.
But yeah, you look up Toast, singer, man, person.
Haywood Banks.
Haywood Banks. My wife was watching one of his videos just the other day of Toast. Let's see. Speaking of toast, just kidding. There's nothing else toast related.
That's unfortunate.
I think the creators of the Suicide Squad game may be spelling toast because they're having strokes because the game doesn't look very good.
Or they might be toast. Their jobs. I hope
Oh,
not,
that was
but-
that was a better one.
They're both. You know what? I'll allow both of those. They're great.
Okay, let's talk about game devs real quick. We'll lead with the Suicide Squad news so far. Rocksteady, it's not looking good.
Yeah, the previews are going out to the different game journalists here. You watched the Eurogamer one, right? I watched
did.
the IGN one. They didn't have many nice things to say about it, which
Yeah,
is very depressing because this is Rocksteady. They made all the Arkham games, which were extremely well done.
well, if you in the Eurogame video, they talk about how partway through the development of this one, the original founders of Rocksteady left the company.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that until I saw that video as well. So if that, I know.
Wait,
I don't
they
wanna
left
say
the
that-
company before or after?
Halfway through the development of Suicide Squad.
Oh, halfway. Oh,
Yeah, so I don't want to say that really does not bode well, but that doesn't bode well.
right. It feels like WB is making Rocksteady make this game.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a live service game similar to Marvel's Avengers, which did not do
Destiny.
well. Destiny, which is not doing well currently, but did well in the past.
Yeah.
Anthem, which did horribly.
Tankaroo.
So IGN's saying the story is good enough, but the gameplay is just the standard hold this spot and kill waves of enemies type of
Tower
combat.
defense. My favorite.
And Rocksteady, they were known for their cool hand-to-hand combat and all the different stuff you did as Batman. But-
Detectiving and all that jazz.
yeah, but with this, you basically just have guns. And the UI, I saw this on Twitter, but
Super cluttered.
super cluttered. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things happening on the screen on the UI.
Just on the UI level. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when you shoot people, you just see numbers going up their around their body. It's
Well,
they're bullet sponges.
The weirdest thing about this is the fact that it's a preview and it's having this negative of a buzz around it, when in gaming journalism, it's hard to find a preview of a game that is negative. Almost every game preview is usually positive if you go read them, because people are excited to try out new stuff, and not this time. This is one of the few times I've seen a preview of a game come off this negative, and that's a huge bummer, because when this was first announced, I was super excited for it. Even games that end up sucking usually look good in the previews. You know what I mean? Like Anthem, for example. The previews for Anthem were astronomically good looking, positive, and that launched as a dumpster fire.
Yeah, this thing looks like an arcade game.
Yeah.
Like lots of numbers and stuff.
Yeah. This is depressing.
I might buy it anyway to review.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, we'll see. Because if it's got a DC story, I got to be there for that.
Yeah,
I got to
wish they would-
represent.
I wish they would. I wish they would just get with the program and Disneyfy or something. I don't want Disney. That's not true.
Nah.
I don't want Disney, but I want that same level of production.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen as James Gunn's stuff
Yeah.
starts coming out. So
I
hopefully,
hope so, man. Because DC needs a break, man.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to get it from this game. It looks like, unfortunately.
No.
But we'll see. Let's see. Also, speaking of arcade games, there's a lot of good Sega arcade games back in the day, And apparently Hyperkin has decided to resurrect the Sega Nomad, which was super niche even when it came out.
Hey, I bought that.
I didn't say it was bad. I said it was niche. I never knew it existed until I saw yours.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, really?
Just
I had no idea.
Yes, I had the Sega Nomad. It was a chunky mother. It was like 2 inches thick, and I can't. The battery life was, I don't know, probably like 2 minutes. But I mean, for the time, it was mind blowing because you could play Sega Genesis
on the go.
On the go.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
So that's basically what Hyperkin has done here. It's a lot smaller than the Nomad. The game sticks out the top. It only slots in halfway, it looks like. But they've done this up in the past, apparently. I didn't know about this, but they have something called a Super Boy.
Really?
And yeah, the Super Boy is a portable SNES.
Wow, I had no idea. Whoa, that screen looks tiny on the Super Boy.
It does look way small. It looks like they went a lot bigger on the what are they calling this? The do they have a name for this on here?
I don't know.
I don't see a name.
Yeah, this is weird.
Oh wait, the Mega 95. There we go.
Yeah, the screen looks decent size on the Mega 95.
Yeah, but it's got your classic 6-button layout on the on the right side, and your Sega Genesis D-pad on the right side. Did I say that backwards? 6-button layout on the right side, D-pad on the left side. And yeah, you just slap in your Sega Genesis cartridge on there and play. It's got a dock too that you can get so you can hook it up to your TV and play it on your TV.
How accurate is it? Is it using FPGA or is it just...
No, this is Hyperkin. No way.
Straight emulation. So
not a chance. It's going to be straight emulation, especially you're only paying $120 for it. So,
ooh, I hope it's good emulation. So maybe don't buy it right off the bat.
Yeah,
and wait for reviews.
Absolutely, 100%. But there's a chance it'll still be good. At the very least, it's interesting, and it'll probably be, one of those fun items that you play with once in a while and put on the shelf to look cool.
Right.
So we all have some of those.
And they do say here, you can dust off your old cartridge and play it on the go instead of emulating the game on a handheld PC. So
yeah,
well, you're still emulating the game. It's just from the cartridge rather than from a ROM.
Yeah. Speaking of Sega, though, Jaren has a story here about the something nice for the well-heeled Sega connoisseur.
I have a what now?
I put a story in your name,
oh,
just
you
like
did.
you did for
How does that feel?
I feel loved. Thank you, Tony. There is a Sega Mega Drive / Genesis watch, and I really like the design of this. Actually,
it's cool looking.
It's very reminiscent of how the Mega Drive / Genesis looked like in the 90s. And there's only like this small strip to see the time at the very top, but and the rest of it's just like the
top of the console.
Yeah, that's super cool, actually.
I'll tell you what's not super cool about it: the price.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's mechanical. It's not.
It's an actual mechanical watch.
Wow, even cooler.
With self-winding mechanism. And
$800.
$800.
Yama.
Yeah, but I tell you, if you're a watch collector and you played games if you had fond memories of Genesis times, this is right up your alley because it is cool looking.
16-bit, proudly displayed on the face.
Yeah, so like if those guys that made Sega were like, one day they're gonna make watches of us.
They're gonna make
20 times the amount of our gaming system that just tell the time like a sundial.
That's all it's gonna do. Just turn some numbers.
I'd say the watch is more timeless than the Genesis.
Well played. Well played. Oh, depressing news that we got to report on as well. We're only January 9th, and the number of gaming developer related layoffs are already 1/4 of what they were last year. And last year they were 10,000. So we had announcements today from Unity. They're laying off 1,800 people. And this is on top of the 1,100 people they've laid off over the last 2 years.
They got what they wanted last year. Yeah.
when they tried to milk the developers for
bleed them out. And now
Bleed
they're
'em
like,
out.
okay,
Yep.
get.
Well, part of the thing that really sucks about this is I don't know if you remember, but Unity back in the day bought Weta Digital, and they are cutting a lot of the Weta Digital jobs as well.
Not like the CGI for movies company. There's like a separate arm of Weta that they bought. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know, because it says right here in the article that it links to, Unity is buying Peter Jackson's Weta Digital.
Weta Digital instead of
digital.
Weta.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Still sucks, though.
Yep.
But yeah, so they announced that today. Really unfortunate, and I was hoping we were done looking at seeing that kind of stuff happening after all the massive layoffs that we had last year in the gaming sector. And then also announced today, Twitch is laying off 500 of its workers, which is 35% of its workforce. So, not good.
Ouch.
Got to keep those shareholders happy. That's what all this is for sure.
You guys think that Elon's Twitch competitive part of X is going to do any good against Twitter or against Twitch?
Not a chance.
No way.
I don't think so either.
No way. So yeah, that was a bummer to see that. But in better news, this game looks ridiculous. It's called Pal World, and I can't remember if we've talked about this in the past or not.
I think we briefly mentioned it during one of the game announcement stuff.
Yeah, because it's it looks like Pokemon with guns, basically, is what it looks like.
Wow, it's going to sell for sure then.
That's what all the Pokemon players want, guns. It has been announced for early access. It finally has an early access date, and it's going to be available on PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store on January 19th, and on Xbox Series X and S in early access as well.
Exclusive
On Game Pass. So
Yeah, all right.
you'll be able to try this out if you want on Game Pass. It looks bonkers because it looks like it's going to go into a lot of like just like some kind of dark places where you basically capture these Pokemons, make them work for you, like build things for you, garden for you, and things like that. Automate
slavery. Wow.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Subjugation.
And what's that book with the animals? Animal Farm, like that kind of a thing. But there's going to be open world survival and crafting and everything in there. So it's weird. Apparently Microsoft liked it enough to snap it up for Game Pass, but
I think they're desperate and they just get whatever they can get.
you think so? I don't know.
We need a Pokemon game.
Anything. Anything.
We need a Pokemon game. We got Pal World. Do it.
Is that Pokemon? Technically, buy it.
Yeah, that's it. Ship it.
So,
It's the
yeah,
Kroger Pokemon. Do it anyway.
I guess so.
Kroger makes money too.
And last but not least, if you're you know what, we only have two more stories. Let's hit them both, actually, because this was really cool. Lando has a story here about Tetris actually being beaten, which I didn't even know was that possible.
It is possible. And you know why? So originally, we're talking about Tetris on the NES, which is like the original good version of Tetris, right? This is the one that all the competitive Tetris players play. And for the longest time, no one thought you could get past level 29, because that's when the pieces start falling at max speed, they go faster and faster, and like
It's too fast.
human fingers could not just move that fast, right? Turns out Tetris players invented a new rolling in quotes technique in which they use their hand to push the controller against into their fingertips on the backside to do cascading presses with their fingertips, allowing for much quicker gameplay, right? So it allows them to rotate the pieces quicker because they're falling so fast. You gotta be quick. And so what's happened now is a player, a 14-year-old boy, reached the Tetris kill screen and essentially, quote unquote, beat the game. Right? They took the game to its
13. First
13
of all.
Thank you.
And Do you know what a kill screen is?
Yeah, so it's when the program can't handle the game anymore, right? It's
Yep.
it's the same thing that happens in Pac-Man. It's the way you quote unquote beat Pac-Man. You
Yeah,
play so much
exactly.
Pac-Man, the game fritzes out and bugs out and glitches out or whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
that it becomes unplayable. So this happens in Tetris at around level 155.
Can you believe that?
Isn't that insane?
So they stopped getting faster at level 29, and that's when it's like, for the average person, impossible to play.
Right.
So this kid went another 112 or whatever levels past that.
Holy cow!
That's
Yep,
ridiculous.
and broke the game and got the kill
Have you
screen.
been have you followed the tea? Have you been following the tea on the old TikTok? The drama.
There's drama?
The drama. Oh, there's some drama.
Oh, boy.
Oh, let's just jump right in because it's good. Sky News, a Sky News anchor. She gets on after the story broke about this boy,
What, did she
beating
call
the
him
game.
lame or something?
And she goes, this is not a lifelong goal. This shouldn't be something that's being celebrated.
Whoa.
And she says,
Seriously?
as a mother, I would say, step away from the screen, go outside and get some fresh air.
Go touch grass.
Beating Tetris is not a life goal. She said with a
my.
smile on her face, and the internet, she is right now
Probably tore her
the
apart.
most hated person on the internet right
Oh,
now.
I'm sure.
If you go look it up on TikTok, it is like,
That is nuts.
it's so crazy. And
I would have
believe-
expected that from like 20 years ago, 25
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, but 2023, 2024,
Oh, yeah.
come on.
So I want to say there's a new update where she has apologized, but
I'm sorry, 13-year-old boy.
but if you want to go see
Congratulations.
if you want to go see some funny internet content, go on TikTok and look up the news anchor lady. Like the TikTok hate for her is just hilarious. But
And the other crazy thing about this story is this happened on January 2nd, or at least that's when they posted it. And since then, 2 other people have done it.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's just, what it reminds me of is when I is reading up on, you go read up on the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was impossible. And then one guy does it, and all of a sudden within a month, like 2 or 3 other people have done it. It's just
Right.
crazy how that kind of thing happens. It shows you how much of it is just in your head. It's like, wait, that guy did it, so I can do it too. Wild.
Anyway, Tetris has been quote unquote beaten, and I think it's pretty sweet.
Yep. Speaking of well-heeled gamers, Star Citizen.
I
don't-
love
just-
this game. I
the
don't know
fact-
why
the
I
fact
do,
that
but
this exists is just amazing and horrifying all at once.
yeah. So I don't know. I love Star Citizen. I think just because of what it is and
Yeah.
what it's done,
The-
still being in beta, but still
Alpha.
growing alpha, right? Still being an alpha and growing like it is, having all this street cred of
The ambition.
Oh
man.
and it hasn't sunk yet.
Nope.
Anyway, not even
It had its biggest fundraising year last year ever.
Yeah. Well, if you want to just get all their ships, you can do that. You can buy the
How much will it
Legatus
cost
pack.
me, Owen?
I mean, a chill 48K.
$48,000.
$48,000. And you can, and there you
Real
go.
dollars.
Yeah. Wow. So before you can get that package, you have to become a member of the game's chairman club for an additional $1,000. So you got to buy into the game's chairman's club. Then you can buy this 48,000 Legatus pack.
Wow.
It's not a new concept for the Roberts Space Industries. So the first pack, but they actually have done this before in 2018, and that was only a cool 27K. So
a pittance.
a pittance, really. And then other completionist packs of all in-game content before that, you could run players another 15K. So if you wanted to get all the other stuff, not just the ships, all the other stuff. And I gotta believe if they push this out, there's got to be people buying it. I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some whales playing this. You know, just
Right.
like in mobile games. You have mobile gamers that are mad rich and have more money than sense, and they'll spend $10,000 on Candy Crush. You know,
Right. And an Rs analyst actually went and did the math, and then they compared the 27,000 to the 48,000 for what you get ship for ship, and that's actually it's actually down 12%.
What?
So that's like like the actual it's a better deal than it was
so
by
it's
12%.
so it's better than inflation.
Yeah, quite. So there you go. I don't know. I mean, I just don't get the draw of having every ship, but I guess they
Telling
look
ya.
cool. They look cool.
There's a handful of like Saudi princes that are
Right.
big time into this, and they're just like, well, yeah,
Can you get
give
this
me
in
all,
gold?
Give me all the ships. Buy 2 of them. Buy 2 packs.
Buy 2 of them just in case. My backup.
One for rocking and one for stocking. You know?
That's right. That's right. We don't want to. Yeah, we have one that we have a whole pack that's never flown a single hour.
That
There you
is
go.
wild.
Maybe
And
one day they'll be digital currency, like they'll trade in game.
that's what I was going to say.
you know,
if
for real deal, for real money.
oh yeah, for sure. If Roberts Industries ever makes a way to convert it back into real money and just sell stuff, you know,
I mean, it happened
that's
with-
going to be what NFTs wish they could have been.
Yeah,
if
it's like
this
WoW,
continues.
right?
Yeah,
it's
WoW
like
does
WoW,
that.
WoW,
Yeah.
WoW Gold, WoW before it was accepted. WoW tried to stomp it out for years and years. They
Yeah.
felt like that they would ban your account if they knew you were selling gold in real life
Yeah.
for money. But and eventually they came on board and they're like, okay, whatever.
Wait, we can
You
make
could
a
say-
slice of this if we do
Yeah.
it within our own marketplace. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
let's take a slice because let's take a slice instead of the whole pie. At least we're getting
Yep.
something because they're just going to go around us and make handshake deals.
That's
and
right.
Hand over passwords, and we'll never be able to combat that. So, yeah, $48,000 buys you quite a bit.
I'll tell you what,
Ships.
to me, that sounds like an investment opportunity is what that sounds like.
And if
Better
people are
than
doing
crypto.
hey, this is at least a step down from crypto, Jaron. Come on.
I don't know.
This,
How easy
this
do you
is
think
at least in the realm of NFTs. Come on.
How easy do you
Digital
think it would be
assets.
for someone to steal these from me?
They'd find a way.
They'd find a way.
Yeah, because you can actually have your ship stolen in this game, right?
No, it goes back to you. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't think that. I think they.
Could you be pirated? You can't be pirated in
Yeah,
space.
I mean, it's
and-
the
and
same.
have your-
They get to keep it. You know, theirs for I don't know how long, but it's the same thing. If you blow it up, it just goes into a
regen.
regen. Yeah, it takes a few days or whatever to become available again. So,
There you have it.
all right. Well, there you go. Interesting stuff. That is it for today.
No, I have a story.
Oh, breaking
no.
news from Jaron.
It was there the entire time. Quickly, Xbox Developer Direct is going to showcase Indiana Jones on January 18th.
News.
Nice.
I am super excited for this game. It's made by
Yeah.
Machine Games, who did the recent Wolfenstein series.
I'm in 100% on this.
Yeah, this is like one of my most anticipated games. So super excited to hear that. They'll also be talking about Avowed,
Also excited for that.
which will be made by Obsidian. That looks pretty cool. RPG, fantasy action RPG. Ara History Untold. That's going to be more of a strategy game. So I'm not
this,
interested, but it could be interesting.
This Indiana Jones scratches your itch for those type of games, like the Nathan
the
Drake
scratch your
games.
Nathan Drake itch.
Oh,
Yeah,
it will.
is it kind of because they're kind of in the same?
It's similar to
thing.
Jock Itch, and yeah,
I
it's-
see.
This will scratch
Okay.
it.
will
Nathan
scratch
Drake
it.
is modern day Indiana Jones.
yeah, right.
exactly.
Straight up. So,
And then they'll talk more about Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
which
Okay.
visually is just looking just
Yeah.
striking.
Looks
Amazing.
amazing. So a week from, Thursday, January 18th.
Nice.
when that'll come out.
Breaking news from Jaron. Wasn't there the whole time.
It totally was.
All right. Thanks for listening, dear listener. We appreciate you. Before we head out, though, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/gadgetspot. And if you donated $6 a month or more, like these folks did that Jaron's about to read off, then thank you.
Thank you to David Roshinsky
Also,
Connor-
if you didn't donate $6 a month or more, thank you also.
for listening. Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, what Tony was trying to say: if you read those, you get your name read.
But these guys get a special
If you guys get a shout out if you go over $6.
What he said.
David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Wolfball Tony, thank you guys. Si se puede, thanks to Lambo, Andy Bird, beat the 8-year-old. Travis Johnson by Geekshow Arcade helped us stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz. Owen has Tech Cred -5.
Dash.
Matt, -5. Matt
Dash
Nelson,
5.
Mr. Hand, and Mr.
Give me
Spicoli
solid.
2024.
I sure tried.
Aloha, it's our time. Josh D, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe. There's no place like G28, X0, Y0, Z0.
That one's been on there for months.
Ryan M. and
What
Adam
happened?
Hecht. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Patreon backers. We will see you all next week. Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.